I'm going to rat you out.
Oh, boy.
You guys hear Guru's...
Don't judge. Yeah,
oh,
my
gosh.
I know Willard loves me, so even if he's disappointed, it's still love.
Well, he
I
loves
did
you.
April Fool's joke on Steiny. Somebody texted NFP. We hadn't been having fun with that. And I told him my kid got kicked out of college.
That's real funny. No, that's funny. That's real funny.
But I love his reaction. He was really, and I had to pull the joke. I had to stop it.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have went there.
April Fool's is kind of, I don't know. It feels like it got played out somewhere along the road where, well, no, but it makes people mad. It makes people mad now. And
it makes them mad.
Well,
I think it's bullying.
I don't know why.
No.
Now,
I sort of feel like you should know by now. Like if somebody, it's April 1st.
I wish I would have done what I normally do and been like, that's a shame. That's a shame about little Daryl.
Yeah.
Like little Daryl got kicked out? That's all right. A lot of dropouts end up succeeding.
Like that Seinfeld gif. Oh, that's a shame. That's a shame.
My man was really concerned. It moved me, though. Willard, I'm like, that's my boy.
Yeah.
That's my dog over
Who left
there.
their eyeliner over here?
Not me.
Is that you, Guru?
That was Caleb Williams was in studio.
Oh, all right.
And,
is he rocking that, too?
No, didn't you see all that stuff last week?
It's like a felt tip eyeliner right here in my seat. Wet and Wild.
He's
Proline.
He's got a pink phone and pink lip gloss. Yeah, which is fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's fine.
Nothing to see here.
No, it's fine. Yeah. That's for me too much pub before the draft for Caleb Williams.
Yeah,
that's just too much. There's too many things. I'd be worried. I am worried for the Bears.
He can sling it though.
He can sling it. Yeah,
there's a lot of backyard stuff that I don't think is going to work on Sundays. I'm saying. I'm just saying.
I agree with you.
You still mad at me?
Yeah, you okay?
Not really. I'm not mad. I'm not mad. It's just so.
You're just disappointed.
Yes, that's what I am, Mark.
FP.
That's what I am.
I heard you guys talking about that. It's still, for me, it's the funniest thing you could say to a person if they're not your own child. If they're your own child, you can do that.
Wait,
but I'm not mad.
Weren't you guys just hugging in the boss's office last week? Do we got to go hug again in the office?
Yeah.
Work things out?
We had cafeteria day Friday.
Guru has he spent the last week talking about how Draymond Green can't read the room. You know, how he does the night, and it's like, not now. And he just totally didn't read the room as it relates to an April
I got a lot of
Fool's Day
laughs.
prank.
Yeah,
it's not funny.
All right.
It's not funny saying your son dropped out of college.
I said he got kicked out.
Here's what would have been another one.
Got kicked out.
Oh, my God, Steiny. Little Daryl's eloping. That may be, that's a better joke.
I messed up. I did you wrong.
I haven't heard of somebody eloping in about 15 years.
People still elope.
Our audience just said, what does that mean?
Do people still elope? Does that happen?
That's a good question.
I don't know. That's a good question.
Elope.
Yeah. If you're just drunk in Vegas and you do that, does that count as eloping?
I think that's just loping.
That's just loping. Yeah. I think it's a good call. All right.
Hey, let me ask you this. I was going to start out.
Hi, everybody.
This is what Willard and FP Santangelo in today. I was going to start out talking about the weekend and a bunch of sports, but Guru just hijacked the show with how the Warriors don't mean anything anymore. No, seriously. A lot of sports. So we had the Giants playing the Padres 3, NCAA men, NCAA women, Warriors 2 games. What did you guys watch? What's your priority kind of?
That's a good question.
What'd you spend the most time watching? What'd you spend the least time watching?
So Friday was the day because we left here and immediately the Warriors played. Was that Charlotte?
Charlotte.
Okay.
Oh boy,
I can't even keep track of which bad team they played on which day. But anyway, so that was Charlotte. Plus you had March Madness games kind of getting started somewhere in the just before dinner time or whatever's going on there. And then looming was Giants Padres at 6:45. Is that right?
Yes.
Am I remembering Friday correctly?
You got it.
Yeah.
Don't ask me.
I mean, I watched it all. It became a little bit of a fight in our house. Not a fight. I wanted to watch the Giants game, and Christy was over, and she was still in first place in the pool. So there were also, and my sons are into March Madness. So we turned on March Madness. I just opened a bottle of wine and was happy that everybody was sitting in the same room for what felt like the first time in 3 months.
Love it.
Yeah.
So what'd you end up watching?
All of it. All of it. It's a stupid answer, but we flipped around to everything. We flipped. If you're asking what I cared about the most, I mean, oddly, probably the Giants game. The Warriors was not in doubt. March Madness is like, as soon as your pool is, if your bracket's ripped up, it's whatever.
Yeah, but it's still fun.
Yeah.
It's like pure basketball.
No, it was great.
I would rank the Warriors third on those this weekend. I would go Giants, March Madness, and then the Warriors.
The Giants, and the Warriors was kind of over by the time the other stuff was starting, so you could do both. But,
we went out Friday, and the Warriors were on at a sports bar, but nobody was really watching them. They were watching Purdue. Were we watching Purdue? School was in session.
Purdue
on
versus Gonzaga?
Yes.
Yeah,
Zach
Purdue.
Edey.
See, but Purdue and UConn games aren't fun. They're fun for the first half, but in the second half, the other team go bye-bye.
Yeah,
so they're boring.
School was, by the way, I'm not going to charge you tuition for Friday, Lucas.
Thanks, Danny.
I spent a lot of Friday talking to Lucas and explaining to him why Zach Edey is not Yao Ming.
Is the NBA even interested in Zach Edey?
Good question.
If I were running
That's
something that size and how he looks, we're going to give you a look, son.
Yeah.
How high?
At what pick are we going to give you a look? The third pick?
Not that high.
Seventh pick?
You know what's funny? You know what's funny is he stinks. Don't get me wrong. No, he doesn't stink. But it just shows you that a guy like Edey,
man,
hurts himself by not being James Wiseman. You know what I mean?
By not having that look.
Exactly. By
what was my man's
long.
What was my man's name at Gonzaga last year? Drew.
Oh man,
Timmy.
Yeah,
look at that.
Not a bad player.
He's in the G League.
Oh no, I'm thinking of Kispert. My bad.
Yeah, he's in the G League. He's in Wisconsin playing in the G League. So that guy that runs March Madness for a year, but doesn't have that look. I don't know. I think that Zach Edey might be the next installment of that.
I wouldn't touch him with a 10-foot pole.
Yeah.
He scares me.
But you won't be shocked that somebody will. They're going to give him a shot. That's too much size.
I guess what I'm saying is, would you take right now Zach Edey or James Wiseman?
I would take Wiseman.
You would?
Yeah.
Oh, I
would take Edey just because I know what James Wiseman. I know for sure James Wiseman's not a good NBA player.
But what I'm getting at is Edey might be the ninth pick in the draft. I don't know. I haven't seen a mock draft. What do you got him for?
Top 10, I think.
Top 10. And then
he looks humongous on there. He is humongous.
Like the Warriors get to take James Wiseman and man, look at this guy out of high school, and man, the team that drafts Edey is going to be like, oh boy, let's see what this guy can do. You get penalized for playing in college too long, basically.
NBA.com's current mock draft
for
the NBA.
Give us some names here of guys we've never heard of.
I'm scrolling. There is no Zach Edey in the top 10, not 11, not 12.
Hey, Lucas.
Not 13, not 14, not 15, not 16. Is he even in the first round? I'm at 19.
Yeah, he'll go
20.
He's
7'5"
or 7'4", 7'5".
Yeah.
What is he?
Something like that.
NBA.com's mock draft, which was just released a week ago, does not. Oh, there he is, to the Spurs at number 33.
They also have Konechty at 16, but he's going to be
with Wembanyama.
Right?
You just think of the lottery.
Oh my God, those two!
Hey, can you do me a
You
favor?
got the Eiffel Tower.
Dude, he's so good.
favor?
That's the first time I watched him play last night. He's
a baby. Still.
He was dunking from 5 feet out last night.
Lucas, did you just call him Konechty?
That's what Steiny calls him.
Yeah,
I call him 7 things.
It's Connect.
I call him Necty.
We have nicknames.
But if
we've
Lucas,
known him so long.
No, but if he's gonna run the pool and he's not gonna get your bracket in,
we won't.
And then he's gonna say
God,
Zach Edey's top 10 when he's 33.
That's true.
And then he's gonna call Dalton Konechty. That's 3 strikes, dude. You're out. You're not running the pool next year.
The director under
Can you do me
5.
a favor?
Yeah.
Can you just give me the names of 10 guys?
Oh God, you've heard of none of them.
Lucas, I think you're ready to be a show host, being that inaccurate. Come on in here. You just make crap up, dude. You're ready. Call him up. He's ready.
Fill in for me today. I got stuff to do.
How many non-college players
How about this for fun? I got 3 sports radio hosts in the room with me.
Okay.
Can any of you right now name who the supposed number 1 pick in the draft is?
And we're being honest, okay.
Yeah, hit me. I'm looking at it. Who is it?
It's not the kid who's going to Duke, is it? Flag?
That's a no. FP, would you like to try?
Nor do I care.
Yeah.
I have nothing.
Okay. Alexandre Sarr from the Perth Wildcats.
All right.
Okay. Center, 7'1", 216 pounds, 18 years old from France.
Wow. Okay, so he ain't even playing.
There's a lot of good basketball.
So
he's overseas. He ain't even in the NCAA.
I think he smokes though. He smokes cigarettes.
I'm not even going to be able to pronounce these names. I don't know who these people are.
Give me. Just skip
Zachary Risacher is number 2.
From where?
France. Everyone's from France.
He is,
and they all smoke.
NBA.com says his nationality is 18. I think they might have mixed up his age with his nationality. But anyway,
let's make it
also
more fair.
Overseas.
This is incredible.
Skip over the international guys.
Okay.
But that gives you a...
Number 3.
Doesn't give us anything. Why?
No, it's telling us we're not missing anything.
Number 3, Reed Shepherd, Kentucky.
Oh, I've heard of him. Yeah.
Reed Shepherd, freshman guard from Kentucky. One and done this year.
Unbelievable.
Both as a team and a player. Yeah.
But wow.
Charlotte Hornets at number 4 will go with Ron Holland from G League Ignite. No, he's American.
Who are you?
He's American, but he's on the G League Ignite.
Rest in peace.
No, go ahead.
No longer a thing this year.
Number 5
hasn't died though. The team has.
Cody Williams, the freshman wing player from Colorado.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Cody Williams.
Where's the NBA now? Is it 2 or 3 behind football? Where does the NBA rank?
As far as what?
Like fans and interest. In general.
Everything's behind football.
Everything's behind football, but is it 2? It's 2 or 3.
Probably number 2.
I would say.
I would say 2.
When you say fan
By the way, it depends on, I mean, specifically you're talking this country.
Yeah.
Yeah, because soccer.
Yeah, I'm talking, in the United States.
Yeah.
You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ FM and HD1 San Francisco. Always live on the free Odyssey app. You know I have to do this at 2 o'clock every day. Twitch and YouTube, powered by First NorCal Credit Union.
I almost want to say I feel sorry for the college game that there are no Patrick Ewings or Steph Curry. Like, you just went over this whole tournament and you got 2 guys overseas and 1 in G League.
Right. Kentucky apparently has 2 players that are both going to go in the top 7.
Give me their names.
Oh, the other one is Rob Dillingham.
Okay.
Yeah, but nobody got to know him this week because they lost their first game.
Oh, that's wow.
Right?
I do have a question because the morning show was talking about 3 guys. Trey Lance, James Wiseman, and Joey Bart. So when was Bart select? What?
Good morning, good afternoon, good night.
When was Joey Bart selected?
Number 2.
Number 2.
What do you mean what year?
No, I meant what
number
pick?
2.
Baseball's got to be the biggest crapshoot when it comes to the draft, even more so than basketball, or no?
Baseball to me is the most.
I think so.
Yeah.
It depends if you're drafting a college kid or a high school kid. I think a high school kid's a crapshoot because you just don't know. Like, from a maturity standpoint, like growing up in the minor leagues as an 18-year-old is always a crapshoot.
But the NBA is sticking those 18-year-olds straight into the league.
And you have a chance for a baseball guy to develop. But in basketball and football, you're going straight to the show, man. Right out of college. So, I don't know. I just, yeah.
I
agree with you though, just because baseball, the players are they're the furthest away from actually playing in the professional league that they're being drafted to.
And the draft itself is not as high profile, which I got to believe plays into it, as the NBA and the football draft.
Well, that's changing.
Is it?
Well, they're doing their stuff.
No,
now.
They're doing stuff with it, but no, it's nowhere near as high profile.
Tell them why, you brought that up.
They were talking about, who made the biggest mistake of the 3 teams and who's the biggest.
To get your 2 opinions on that.
Quarterbacks in the NFL are a crapshoot in the first round.
Well, especially one that goes to North Dakota State.
Just quarterbacks in general are a crapshoot. When you look at Fields and you look at Lance.
Well, that whole group, there were 5 QBs in the first 15 picks, and they were supposed to be a generational draft, and it is 1 for 5 maybe.
Yeah. But what if I told FP Troy Aikman on line 1 this years ago, Peyton Manning, John Elway, those type of dudes, they were supposed to be the guy and they delivered.
Yeah.
Dan Marino.
Yeah.
But here, you're right. That draft is just, oh my goodness. Like, we already know it's bad.
Trey Lance was the biggest mistake in my mind because of what it took to go get him. The 49ers gave up 3 years of stuff to go get him. James Wiseman felt like an intuitive thing to do based on what
size.
Yeah. It felt like it's like you got a championship roster and what does it need? Well, big guy, right? And so that felt like nobody blinked at that. And the Joey Bart thing, I think made sense at the time too, but I also blow that off the most because that wasn't even the regime that's currently like that was. I mean, when I thought, and a lot of us thought, there's pretty big eyebrow raiser right away. Farhan comes in, and the first round draft pick he makes is another catcher right after they had just picked Bart. And that was Patrick Bailey.
That's got to be the worst.
And he was right.
You know what gets me upset is when you look on Twitter, you talk to people, and they blame the organization or they blame the way it was handled. To me, it's on the athlete. If you get a chance, your day in the sun, you got to shine, man. When you're a first-round draft pick, you get so many other opportunities that other draft picks don't get.
So you would tell Joey Bart, you can't be mad you didn't get your shot.
I'm not blaming it. I mean, where's your accountability? I don't think Joey Bart would blame it on the organization. He's handled this like better than professional if there's something like that.
Totally.
But it's on the player. Like, he's had chances. He had a long runway.
What?
Like, some of us only get a real short runway, and there's foam on it. And then all of a sudden, you got to take advantage of that. But first round draft picks get a lot of chances. That's why Brock Purdy, if he threw 3 interceptions the first game and 2 the second game, he's Mr. Irrelevant. See you later. We got to go in a different direction. And he got his chance as 262, and he got his day in the sun. And look at him now. Joey Bart gets afforded all these opportunities that maybe a Brock Purdy wouldn't get afforded. And so Joey Bart, in my mind, it's on him because he had his chance, and it just didn't click for whatever reason here. I think he's a good big league catcher. I don't know that he'll ever be an all-star, and he'll do well with a change of scenery because there was always that Buster Posey thing and filling those shoes.
Except for that should have been an advantage at some point, no? Like he didn't just get a runway. He also got to learn under Buster Posey. No?
Yeah, I just don't think if he had the kind of a Bosa type motor that ran from like whistle to whistle, Joey Bart just looks like, if you run a big league game, you got to have that motor running. And I know Patrick Bailey's calm, but inside Patrick Bailey's got that motor running. He's always thinking. And Joey Bart's body language, you run the game as a catcher. You're the king back there. And it's just never the pace of play and just the way he threw it back to the pitcher and the way he walk back to the dugout after a strikeout. You're the leader, man. Like, everyone's following your cue. And there has to be, even though Buster Posey wasn't a rah-rah guy or Patrick Bailey's not a rah-rah guy, they run the game with a certain energy and a certain crispness that it just goes. And it all starts with the guy behind
So do you
the plate.
guys think Bart won't ever resurface to an all-star catcher? Like, I think if Steiny asked me that about James Wiseman.
Was he one?
I'm saying, will he ever get there?
No.
Because if you asked me that about Wiseman and Lance, Lance is still kind of out there for me, but I would say I doubt it. But Bart, you don't see him going somewhere.
It would have happened by now.
Yeah, you can't hide talent.
It would have
like
happened.
that.
He's 27 going on 28.
I know the Cowboys acquired Trey Lance, and so we're like, oh, we
Some
still
days
have.
I'm like, what? Let's see.
No, you can't. You can't. Like, I'm a big believer. I know fans. We do this a lot, and I get it because it's the only eyes we have, which is to say, we only judge a player by when he gets that shot. And I'm like
what FP just said.
There's a reason he hasn't gotten the shot if he hasn't gotten the shot. This is the argument I had about Trey Lance the whole time when people were like, come on, man, we haven't seen him.
He got it, Willard? Because he got hurt.
Yes, he got a shot. And like in practice and everywhere, they did not like what they were seeing.
He kept saying
they didn't like what they were seeing.
You know
the shot is behind the scenes
There you
too. It's
go.
not just what we
Yes.
see. The shot is how you're handling yourself in the huddle. It's how you're handling yourself in the
Steiny kept
room
saying
and
that,
meetings,
and I fought
and
him.
how you're handling yourself with your teammates.
They know.
How did I look today? Like, was my arm a little bit low? Like, how did I look? And you're sitting there just doubting yourself. Like, there's things that go on behind the scenes that we never are privy to about how they handle themselves. And so your shot is like things behind the scenes that we don't know. Like, this guy, like, everyone's like, Brock. The 49ers were unsolicitedly saying great things about Brock Purdy. The question wasn't even asked about Brock.
Right.
And they would all say, like, he commands a huddle. He's confident. Boy, when he ran the scout teams, he was a pain.
Kyle
in
told the owner we
They
might have
just,
the best
He's our best quarterback. Yeah.
Just
I
randomly.
mean, look, sorry, Steiny, if Wiseman goes to Detroit and gets into a positional battle with Bagley, And Detroit has no interest in trying to even win.
Oh, that's a great
And they still won't put him in the game.
All right. That's
It's
an
like-
indication.
I mean, this is where, and I hear what FP's saying about, it's on the player. But I do believe there's some players that, guess what? This team drafted a player who's incapable of playing professional sports. Like, there's a chance Joey Bart may reach his potential and still not be good enough. Like, that's not his fault. Somebody saw something in him that was kind of unfair to him.
He was a beast at Georgia Tech.
Like, how
He's
do you
the best catcher in the country?
How do you know? Like James Wiseman.
Damn.
Like, Warriors may have drafted a guy who can't play in the league. Like, I think there's a chance that if James Wiseman would have just never been drafted, same player he is now, might not be in the league because he wasn't the number 2 pick overall. Like, he's still on his rookie deal. You're kind of hoping and seeing if he can play. He might not be able to.
No,
like, he may just be waived at some point.
It's like anything that any of us have experienced in life. Like, the timing and circumstances around it matter, and there are lucky breaks and not lucky breaks. I was listening to Bonte and Joe talk about this morning. Bonte said something I thought was interesting. I didn't fully agree with how far he went with it, but he was basically saying the longer I've looked at this and been around the games, most of it comes down to where you got drafted and the circumstances that await you, and which is kind of the whole 49er quarterback point. It's like, oh, you got drafted into the perfect scenario. But it's like, yes, that is part of it. You could be drafted and have a great coach. You could be drafted into what Trevor Lawrence had to deal with the Jags.
But Mac Jones didn't have chopped liver.
Well, on the offensive side, I'd argue he did.
Joe Burrow didn't go to a good team, and he made them better.
Sure. No, I'm sort of saying, like, Bonte went to a spot where I wouldn't go that far. I'm with you. Yes, this is. You get opportunities and you've got to go play. And I don't think you can hide talent at the professional level. Like, these people want you to be so good so badly. They invest so much in you. If they think that you're just laying in the weeds and you've got a ton of talent, they're going to put you out there. So it's absolutely.
With Justin Fields being a good quarterback?
No.
If Brock Purdy had not, and if the Niners hadn't drafted him 7, or he goes somewhere else, or you telling me, and I'm not saying you're wrong, let's say he's a top 10 quarterback. Let's just say. I don't want to get into it, but he's in the top 10. You mean to tell me, had the situation not worked out, that Brock Purdy would not be in the NFL? He would not be in the NFL, or would he have somehow been found in one of the various leagues he would have played in? You know what I mean?
If he was a top 10 pick?
No. If he doesn't get drafted, is he just never in the NFL?
Oh, he would have gone to. I mean, he would have.
What would have happened to him? Would he have eventually risen to some player where everybody says,
no,
I don't know how good he is?
Little circumstantial.
No, he had a sponsor. He had a sponsor, and Kyle liked him.
What do you mean?
They just saw him and they liked what they saw, and he can fit into our system, and let's draft this guy. And then all of a sudden they got him there, and they saw the intangibles, and they saw how hard he worked between his last game at Iowa State and the draft, and how he redeveloped himself. He was a little too thick in the lower half. He was a little too slow with his foot speed. He trained with pitchers to get his arm strength stronger, and his velocity went up, and he made himself into somebody that would work for our system.
That's interesting.
And I don't think that if he was just on the side of the road and he went like Kurt Warner and that
he would have
been
he had a line of teams sitting there to offer him an undrafted free agent contract. Okay. He would have gone into a camp.
Right.
If he had not been that last pick, he would have gone into someone's camp. And then there are circumstances as to
then I kind of
would he have ever gotten a shot? Would he have grabbed someone else's eye? Would someone in front of him have gotten hurt? Would 2 people in front of him have gotten hurt?
Man.
I mean, the crazy thing about the question you're asking is the 49ers they drafted him. He did all those things you just mentioned, FP. He played his butt off to the point where they thought he was the best QB in camp. And he still, because of politics, didn't get in the game until 2 injuries happened. He wasn't I don't know if he was going to get in that year.
And don't forget the Trent Williams in 54 saying, "Oh, this kid can play in practice."
Can you imagine this scenario if it's Jimmy G and Trey Lance, and all of a sudden the 49ers come out and say, "Well, our starting quarterback against the Bears is going to be Brock Purdy.
Oh, it couldn't.
Could you imagine that?
couldn't.
Could you imagine?
The politics wouldn't allow that.
Oh, God. Kyle would have gotten
Right?
just skewered. So, no, and he said that. He's
Yeah,
like,
but
we couldn't.
if he did play that game with the rain in that game with his hands in his
God.
grip, could you imagine he thrown 7 interceptions and be like, you are Mr. Irrelevant?
He might have.
All right, gents. Well, we got
We'll
some
be listening, man.
women's college hoops we may take a
Yeah,
look
this
at.
game. Yeah, I mean, what? This game starts at 4. Is that right?
go.
15.
Duke UNLV vibe to it back in the day.
I mean, except for those were teams. This is like Kobe versus LeBron on
Larry
Christmas.
Magic? Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
this is Angel Reese versus Caitlin Clark.
I like
Let's
her.
go.
We're
But
cool.
unfortunately, the coach has injected herself into becoming the third individual people are talking
Yeah.
about.
Kim Mulkey.
They did her a solid on that report in the big
Washington
paper.
Post?
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
Oh, you read it?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought
We
I didn't know
talked
you
about it
Well,
subscribed.
today.
that's by the way, that's like Exhibit A as to why you don't have a press conference screaming about
you.
it before it even comes out.
It's not these guys
It was
bad.
like it became a big deal because she did that. Not
And there
because-
was nothing
There's nothing in it. It's Kim Mulkey. Golly. Another press conference to say this is all about the kids. Yep, she can't stop
Good line in there.
grandstanding.
There's a good line in there.
What
She
was it?
wears feathers and she ruffles feathers.
No, that's what-
on 95.7 the game.
Game, yeah.
That should be your sign off. that should